So with us here tonight is Shirley Moyer, a lifelong resident of the Oley Valley and also very active with the Oley Fair. Thank you for joining us tonight.
You're welcome.
So Shirley, you are currently the chairman of the Fair Book, which is very popular for people. Tell us a little bit about the Fair Book and what you do with that Fair Book.
Well, I actually got asked to take that over the Fair Book in 1983 by one of the past presidents, Frank Fisher. The person that was doing it had wanted to retire, and he came to me to ask to do the Fair Book. So I took that over, not realizing how big of a project that is. I didn't do the ad parts. There's a separate person that does the ads, and I just did the departments and that type of thing, like all the contests and everything like that. I put that all together, get it to the printer, and then get it ready for mailing. And our goal always is to have it out by July the 4th, because everybody looks forward to that book. If they don't get it by July the 4th, my phone starts ringing and wondering where the Fair Book is. They thought maybe they missed it or missed signing up as a member, because in order to get the Fair Book, you do need to sign up as a member at the membership booth. You pay $1, and then the following year you get the book in the mail. So they were afraid they forgot to sign up or that got lost in the mail.
Okay, great. So part of the fair is about tradition. And I know you have several trophies that you won in the baking division and whatnot. Tell us a little bit about how you incorporate tradition in with, just as an example, the baking department.
Well, with baking and the canned goods, my grandmother was a big influence in that. She had me with her to bake and do the canning part. For the most part, she taught most of those traditions to me, and I'm trying to pass that on. I do have a niece that I'm training, and I had her enter in the junior food. She has won several years in the junior foods as well. So we want to keep the tradition alive. We need to get people interested in it, and you know, in all the departments really, because I had also won trophies several years in the floral department, and you know, we're trying to teach Leah to also enter in those departments.
Okay, great. So with the Oley Fair, there is a Pennsylvania State Fair Association that the Oley Fair is part of, as well as the International Association of Fairs and Expositions. And several years ago, the Oley Fair has gotten very involved with both of those organizations and has even won some prizes. Can you tell us a little bit about how the Oley Fair, or what the Oley Fair does for those specific conventions and contests?
For the state convention, which is held up in Hershey every year, the first year that we had attended that, I seen all these displays there, and I checked everything out, and I said, well, I think we could probably put this together. And so the following year, we started with entering a few items, and it progressed, and we keep entering more and more every year. Actually, this past year in 2023 in January, we actually got best of show out of all of the fairs, the 108 some fairs in the state of Pennsylvania. We got best of show. And also with the IAFE, the International Association of Fairs and Expositions. I haven't entered in that for several years now, but in the past we have entered in that, and I really didn't expect to win. And when I got the letter in the mail that we won and we had to go to Las Vegas for the prize, I didn't know what to do. I panicked, but my sister went with me, and we ventured out to Las Vegas, 2 farm girls out there on our own in Las Vegas. But we ended up going there, getting our prizes and awards and everything. And the one prize that we did get was we had started a new contest, which was called the Decorated Bowling Pin Contest. And I had submitted that as it was a category for that for new contests. And we actually got a big cup for that. It was like the grand prize for that. And that's actually with everybody from other countries, from Canada, from Mexico, everywhere. You're competing with all these big fairs, these state fairs. So I was very proud of that.
So tell us a little bit about how that decorated bowling contest came into play.
Actually, we had went to Las Vegas. It was either Las Vegas or Reno. There was a national bowling tournament, and actually Kevin had went. He was one of the bowlers, and they had these pins that were there in their showcase in the front window, and they were decorated with all kinds of things. They had, I can't even tell you everything that they had decorated them with. And I said, well, he said too, he said, this would be a great idea for us. So that's how that idea came about. And now actually the farm show, the state farm show, they use that. They have that as a contest, and several other fairs that I know of that they've sort of taken that on too.
So I think there's a funny story about a sheep, or actually two sheeps, one year. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that funny story?
Yes, that was the year that a hurricane had came through. I believe it came through on a Thursday night. And normally with the animals, the kids, the exhibitors usually stay with their animals overnight, but because of the hurricane, they did not. Actually, I got there like at 2 o'clock in the morning because I had to let somebody into the firehouse to get down to the generator, to start the generator at the firehouse. So when I was there, I figured, well, I might as well stay up and stay there. And I went up on the fairgrounds, and actually we were making hoagies. We had the hoagie meat and everything there because the guys on the truck crew were out pumping all night long. So we decided, well, my sister and I said we'll make sandwiches for them because they weren't getting anything to eat. And then we decided, well, since we're there, we'll pick everything up because all the tents were down, everything was a mess. And we had a fair to open up the next day. So as we're walking around, there were two sheep there that were just roaming around, grazing around. And I said to Kevin, I said, you go get one, I'll go get the other. So I went and grabbed it and took it and put it back in its pen.
All right, great. I'm sure with you being involved with the fair and being around so many years with the fair, you've got a fair memory or two or three. How about sharing them with us?
What I always remember as a kid, my parents we always went to the fair, and I remember my mom always having this basket, which I still have to this day, and she would carefully wrap up all her jarred items that she had to enter in paper, in newspaper, and then we would go off to the fair and she would enter her jarred things, and I always had a sugar pie pumpkin. I never won, but that didn't really matter to me. I was just happy to go there and see that it was displayed with all the other pumpkins and everything, and that was usually, that was like the most memorable thing. That's what I remember as a child.
Great. Well, thank you for joining us tonight and sharing those memories and stories, and we appreciate you doing that. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.